Hey everybody, my name is Sam.
And I'm Angela, and welcome to our channel.
So today's video has a project that has taken months to complete, but it finally makes the greenhouse, the garden, the barn, the backyard legit.
Yes. So back when we were doing my soap shack, we rented a trencher to run the water line and the electric lines to my soap shack. Well, we figured, hey, let's kill two birds with one stone. Let's go ahead and do a trench to run water up to the greenhouse and barns, the garden area all together.
Yeah, top of the hill.
Given that was probably, what, 4 or 5 months ago?
I feel like it's been at least 3 to 4 months ago that was done.
So it's been sitting as a trench kind of for almost that long.
Yeah, we have had an open scar across our property for the past 3 to 4 months, and I think today may actually be the day we get to rectify that.
Sweet.
Alright. Yep, the whole thing. Just dump her over. Just don't lose your bag. Alright, with our hole all prepped, the next step is to actually fill in the bottom with a good bit of gravel, because the way this hydrant works is when you shut it off, all the water that's in that hydrant from the bottom to the top leaks out what's called a weep hole or drain hole, and you need that water to have somewhere to go, which is the gravel, so that you don't end up with a muddy mess, or really you have your thing sitting in water for it to freeze and bust and cause a bunch of problems. The hydrant we picked up is a Parts 2O name brand. I guess parts like H2O, parts, I don't know. That's the name brand. It was one of the best reviewed ones on Amazon that was still affordable. We picked up a 2-foot bury model. What that means is it's designed to be buried in the ground up to 2 feet and still be usable and everything. I don't think you are hard locked into that range at all. In fact, I hope not, because this is not exactly 2 feet deep. But what we wanted was basically the shortest amount of frost-free hydrant we could get, yet still get below our frost line depth. They sell a multitude of lengths and bury depths for wherever you may live. I think the longest one I saw was a 6-foot bury depth. Goodness gracious, help you guys if you live in an area where you got to dig down 6 feet below your frost line. But if so, there is one at that length if you wish. So this hydrant is sturdy, cast iron top, galvanized pipe. Here at the bottom you can see the actual plunger right there, and this other little hole is actually called a weep hole or the drain hole. That's where the water will drain out. When it's installed this way, you turn the handle off up top, all the water in here is going to drain out, and that's what keeps it from freezing and breaking on you in the wintertime. As far as plumbing this up, it's going to be pretty easy for us, since we have 3/4 inch black poly pipe in the ground. The only thing I needed to buy for my pump was this 90-degree elbow. It goes from 3/4 inch, I want to say MFPT thread, but don't quote me on that. I don't have a degree in plumberology and threadisms. I am just took the whole pump into the store and played around and found the fitting I needed. I'll thread this in the bottom of the pump with a little bit of thread sealant, and then this part is barbed. The pipe will slip over it and we'll tighten it down with a hose clamp. That's all we need to do up here as far as plumbing. However, to make sure everything is nice and sturdy, seeing that it lives out here on the property with 2 feral children and of course myself, I will probably also drive in at least one metal T-post down into the ground to act as a stabilizer of sorts, to keep this thing from rocking and rolling in the wrong direction, and just hopefully prolong it over its length and beyond our needs or usages or whatever. Just make it last longer and be strong. There you go.
Can I put it down?
Alright, go ahead and, yeah, you can open it up. And it's going to be kind of like toothpaste.
White toothpaste.
Mm-hmm.
But not toothpaste.
Right, not really toothpaste, that's for sure. I'm going to put a ton of thread sealant on here because I don't want it to leak. This is a ridiculous amount, but we are kind of ridiculous. There you go. And now, just thread it in.
That is a lot. I guess we'll have to scrape off some of it.
Nah, it's okay.
Okay.
It's fine to stay down there. We have got our hole and our T-post and everything prepped, ready to go. However, we need to stop up here and actually go down to the well house and go ahead and plumb up the pipe on that end. I want to do that so that I have the option to flush this black hose full of water, well, flush it with water, and make sure there's no debris in there anywhere along this probably 90-foot run that would clog up the hydrant or cause issues. So let's get our stuff, go down to the well house, and do some plumbing work. Very excited.
You think these wheels can be... I can help too.
Okay, I'll let you know. Let's go ahead and crimp one of these. What a conglomeration of pipe, huh? Before my memory fails me, I want to go ahead and summarize everything you saw me do there in the well house and try and make sense of the whole situation. Of course, our warehouse is going to be quite different from probably yours in the sense of it is exterior to our home. So we have water supply to the house, we have water supply to the soap shed, we have a hose spigot on the side of the well house, and now we've added this extra hydrant to the system. The way I have it plumbed up is this is a spur off of our main water line, you could say, from the well to the pressure tank. It has its own shutoff valve, and then there's a shutoff valve to turn off the hose and the soap shed and everything in between. The overall goal is just to hook the black pipe up to our water line. In our case, I wanted to tap into our 1/2-inch PEX. I did not want to cut into our 1-inch Schedule 40 PVC, what I call main line. I wanted to keep this on that side little spur where I can control it with shutoff valves. I know that this reduces the overall water volume that's able to pass through the system, so mathematically it doesn't make sense to step it down to 1/2-inch PEX and then for us to have run 3/4-inch poly pipe up the hill. We did that more for economical reasons rather than, you know, any other reason outside of that. If we were getting everything new, we would probably just have run 1/2-inch PEX up the hill, but this black poly pipe is actually being repurposed or reused from our garden from last year, where it was down at the bottom, our lower garden. We had this on hand already, and that's what we put in the ground. So that's the whys behind the step down to 1/2-inch, step up to 3/4, and everything in between. All right, everything is done down here. Let's go back up to the top at the hill at the greenhouse, have someone down in the well house, turn on our valve, and let's flush out that black line so then we can continue to install the hydrant as the next step. Well, that's a mess now. As you guys can see, I don't think we're going to have any problems with that 1/2-inch PEX and getting adequate water supply up here. I was honestly pretty shocked and impressed with that. But I guess if you think about it, the only time we would have a true bottleneck is if we're consuming more than the capacity of 1/2-inch PEX at once. Whatever. It's great. It's going to be used for a greenhouse, sheep, and chickens, and maybe spraying some kids when they get hot or whatever. For them spraying us. The hole is just about drained within reason. I don't want to wait like a day or anything. So I'm going to get some scrap cardboard, lay it down on the ground, and go ahead and plumb up the hydrant to the black poly pipe. It's going to be a pretty easy connection. We've already done the bits earlier. It's just a matter of heating the black pipe, sliding it over the barb connection, tighten down the hose clamp, and that's about it, other than getting muddy. So let's go. We just finished plumbing everything up. Elijah's running down to the well house now to turn on our valve. Let's see if we have any leaks, which hopefully we don't. He says it's on. We don't have anything sputtering and spitting. It's a good sign. Let's open this valve and see if we have water. I don't know what valve he turned on. Elijah, it's not on. All right, Elijah has turned on the correct valve this time. It's not like I don't have 50 down there for him to choose from. Now we can test. No leaks, no drippage. Let's turn this spigot on and see water free flow from the hydrant. We have water. Everything checks out great. Great job doing the valve and everything. You now have the privilege of backfilling the hole.
Okay.
Truth be told, he volunteered for it. He said, I want to backfill. Can we fill it in? Can we fill it in? Now it's time.
Hey.
Let's cover up all that work we did.
Okay. Let's hope it faucet magically. You know what? I think we did enough.
That's enough? Really?
I guess maybe more.
You did a great job.
Okay.
Did you go run that hydrant?
Sure.
Give her a crank.
Probably watch out. Nice.
So since we have the faucet now installed, it
You're
is
welcome.
much easier to get things started in the garden. We don't have to run back and forth with buckets or anything like that.
I don't know who was running with buckets, but okay.
The boys.
Oh, yeah.
And so now it's time for us to start our potatoes. We got these back, I don't know, a month and a half ago.
We're just showing everybody how terrible we are. This was a month old.
This is reality.
That was 4 months old. This was from 10 years back.
So it is time for us to finally put these potatoes, I would say in the ground, but in the dirt because they're not going in the ground.
Yeah.
So come along as I put these potatoes in dirt and get to use my new faucet.
and some new gardening stuff.
Yes.
New, along with months old stuff. We have here one bag of potatoes that should have been planted quite a while back. Reality welcomes you back to the homestead. Today we're going to be starting our potato seeds, or potato plants at this point. We're going to try and extract them out of this bag. Probably not going to be able to salvage the bag. It's going to be a whole extraction, cut, rescue operation, rescue 911 version. But get them out and go ahead and slice them up so that we get our potatoes smaller pieces, but still retain some eyes. That's the first step in planting your taters. Cut them up. So let's cut up some taters. Just informed that our potatoes are Irish cobbler potatoes, and they came from Haas Tools. In case you're wondering. Oh, these suckers almost, wow. I will also say that these potatoes were in much better condition when they first arrived. We have just been delayed in our operations, and they have been sitting for a couple of weeks at least.
Easy extraction.
Yeah, we're probably going to end up breaking some eyes off, but it is what it is.
This one have one big one.
It sure does. Looks like crab legs.
It kind of does.
Yeah.
Our potatoes have had their time to kind of dehydrate a tiny bit and kind of form a skin on where they were cut and sliced open or sliced apart. What we're doing now is taking our new, we'll call them potato bags, but they are not just for potatoes, and we'll actually use these things for carrots later on in the season. They are fabric planting pots or bags. Is that what they are?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what they are.
Pot.
Fabric pots. These are from Amazon. They're nothing fancy as far as brand or features or style. They were just the top reviewed, most reviewed, affordable product that we found, and something we figured, hey, why not? We'll give it a shot. What we're doing is using the 10 gallons for the potatoes. We have 4 total, which I think we're going to run into an issue where we have more potatoes than pots. I don't know if we're going to then open up our bag of 20-gallon fabric pots or just put some potatoes in the ground. Either way, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But for now, Angela is filling the pots with about 6 to 8 inches of soil and then putting the potatoes on top and then cover them over with about 3 to 4 inches or so. Right?
Right.
Right. I need confirmation, always. You made that look pretty easy.
It wasn't too bad.
It was pretty easy.
We already had dirt, so that made it easier.
Yeah. Welcome to Easy Street Gardening.
Where we upcycle everything we can.
Yeah. Hey, you've got to do that nowadays. Especially. So, it's pretty cool to see us using the blue barrels again. And hopefully they do well. I did remove all wicking container functionality from them. That did not work out well last year. A couple of you out there who are viewers did comment and say that when I did it, the holes were not correct and it made it soggy. That was totally true. I'm just not going to risk it this year. We're just going to use them as plain containers, and we'll see what next year brings or something.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
So I like the portability of the fabric pots already.
Yes.
They're much easier to move around than the big blue barrels, but they're not going to be as durable as the barrels long term for sure. It'll be interesting to see how they handle the sunlight, so UV resistance, I guess you could say. That'll be cool to see over this garden season or whatever. But for now, it works great. They're in here, they're easily movable, and our potatoes are finally planted.
They are.
Alright, so that was your first time getting to use your own water system up here on top of the hill. What'd you think about it and everything?
It's so much nicer than having to go all the way down the hill.
Yeah.
Turn it on and come all the way back up.
Yeah, or tell a kid, somehow convince them to go down the hill and turn the water on and all that. I definitely like the frost-free hydrant. One of the cool benefits that I did not know about until we started using it is, say we're using it and we turn the hose valve off, it's under pressure. When you turn the hydrant off, the fact that it, drips down underneath the ground takes all the pressure out of your garden hose as well, which is cool. That should hopefully make them last longer.
Yes.
What other plans do you have with that hydrant? I mean, you have water up here, so what else you got planned?
It'll just be much easier to fill up the sheep water, which is like, I think 25 gallons. So that's going to be a lot easier to fill up, as well as the chickens. So.
Definitely. I personally look forward to not having to eagle eye the backyard to make sure I don't run over the garden hose as I mow.
True.
It's one less thing in our yard. Be kind of nice. We've talked off camera just as, Sam and Angela personal talk or whatever, about we want the backyard and property to become decluttered this year. And I think I said the other day, I'm like, do you think this might actually be the year? Like, we actually can do it this year as far as getting stuff rid of junk and all that. So, having the water hose gone is one big step.
So I hope you guys liked coming along and watching Sam work to put the water hydrant in. And then me work to put the potatoes in the bags and pots and whatever.
Oh, 1-2 punch. Hydrant, taters.
And both of them will be nice, but I think the water hydrant should work better for us in the long run.
We'll definitely use it and handle it more than potatoes.
It'll make life easier this summer. Well, leave us a comment below. We'd love to read them. And otherwise, we'll see you guys next time on the homestead.
See you guys.
Bye.
Alright, so that
Now I
goes
need
into all the
something.
hydrant. And then it'll be hydrant video, blah, 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 blah. Now I need to transition from hydrant video back to today for the potatoes.
Okay.
So, you want to do that?
Let me think. Okay.
It's blooper rolls if I want to use it.
Oh.
It's kind of cool. You ready?
Look at the screen.
Oh, hi screen.
So, since we have the faucet now installed,